What up, y'all? Appreciate you showing up, hanging out, listening to my dumb ass. Like and subscribe. So, apologies. I know I've been lacking in my Mac, and like I said before, I said, yeah, I'm gonna do more videos, and then what happens? Well, Traily Bailey, she got a little sick, and okay, this is what happened real quick. I'm at work. I do the work. I jump in my ride, formerly my podcasting office, and I look at the gauge. I have an older vehicle, so it actually has gauges to tell you what's going on in the vehicle, right? So I look at the vehicle, I look at the battery. I'm like, why is the battery not charging? Now, if you guys don't know, batteries charge 12-volt batteries, 12 volt. If it's 12 or below, that means your alternator's not kicking in the extra couple of jolts to give it. It's usually a little bit above 14. It wasn't. It was at 12 or less. And I was like, that's not good. So I deduced in my brain my alternator died. And besides that, days before, I heard some clinking and clanking. I'm like, okay, probably dying. Anyway, so it died. So I had to do an emergency surgery on her. And I did it. And it took me like 4 hours in the dark because it was dark when it happened. And blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it shouldn't have taken 4 hours. But I took my time. Actually, it didn't take 4 hours. I think it was like 2 hours. But it felt like 4. But I was done at like 10 something at night. So I was like, ah. So that's why I didn't do it that day. Then yesterday, I had an engagement with someone. And I couldn't go. And I had to do that. And by the time I was done with all of that, and it was late. And I was like, well, it's too late. And so it's just busy. Life happens and such. No excuses. Listen, regardless if I get busy or not, and now is a busy time of the year, generally speaking. So I'm going to try my best to do as much as I can, but I will never not do this, just to let y'all know. I might take a couple of days off, but nah, son. And also, another, it's kind of like a tangent. I watched, I think it was Porter Rock's latest video, and he said he might move to Florida. I don't know how I feel about that. I think he has a house in North Carolina. He's trying to get a job situated down here with his fam and stuff. And I'm like, that's cool and everything, but I don't know. Because Alex is here. I'm in Florida, by the way. Alex is here. I'm here. Godfrey used to be here. And Pete used to be here too, but he moved to Europe or something. Paris, LA. He's an LA guy. So I don't know how maybe we all hang out, me and Alex and Puerto Rico. Go, hey, let's go get some drinks or something, or cervezas, because they're Spanish. Puerto Rico's Puerto Rican. Alex is Cuban. I'm kind of both. I'm both. So it's perfect. We could be friends. I don't know. Who cares? But anyway, yeah, so I saw that video and I was like, all right, that's kind of crazy. But he eventually got to video game stuff, and by that, I was like, But anyway, what I wanted to talk about today, and I noticed a lot of people were saying nobody was talking about it. And I think I had mentioned it, but probably, I don't remember. Everybody's addressing this right here. Luke Stevens put out a tweet. And I like Luke Stevens. He's an easy listen. Like I said before, he's an easy listen. He's not. Sometimes he's a general gamer. He tends to speak on the zeitgeist. Although he has more knowledge. I believe he has a business degree or something. But was it business? Or was fine? I think it's a finance degree. I don't remember. Anyway, so let me read what he said. He says, "Let me get this straight. If you pay $29.99 for the collectible Samus amiibo in Metroid Prime 4, you get to play/select music while driving the Viola bike in the otherwise quiet desert. In other words, they locked music while riding through a desert behind a $30 paywall. Am I missing something that makes this not insane?" I haven't perfected my Luke Stevens impersonation, so I will not try at all. But yeah, it seems like Nintendo's getting shouted out for being Nintendo, to be honest, because you get. It's about history, really. It's about looking back at what Nintendo has done throughout the past, and that's why I like these numbers about how many Switch 2s that have sold. Uh, I'm always going to be skeptical of Nintendo and sale numbers of consoles because they got caught. I think it was the NES time. They got caught taking. They were counting units that they had produced and put into warehouses for, I don't know, future stock or whatever. They counted those as sold. It's kind of like what Sony's doing. They're counting what they produce, manufacture, but not what they actually sold through. That's the same thing Nintendo got caught for in the 80s or whenever it was. And I mean, nothing happened, obviously, but it was just like, yo, you're being disingenuous. You didn't sell these. You made them and you put them in a warehouse. So, you know. And I guess you could be like, well, it depends on how you look at the meaning sold. The word of the meaning of the word. And that's what Sony's getting away with it because it's like, oh, we're selling it to, you know, the third parties, to the Best Buys. And I was about to say Toys R Us. I don't think Toys R Us ever sold a PlayStation 5. Isn't there still a Toys R Us in like Canada or something? So they might have it. So I could be wrong. Anyway. Let's see. Andre says, I generally think the desert would have been at least 3 times better if they had put some banging music behind it, but it just feels so vapid. Yeah, that's because, yeah. When you touch the amiibo of Samus, you can now set the background music already. You know what? I heard that you can go to the store. You could bring your Switch with you. Go to the store and do it through the packaging and unlock the music so you don't have to actually buy the amiibo. That's what I heard. Somebody has said that. A little devil on my shoulder said, do that. If you have a Switch 2, I guess. Or is it for a Switch 1? I don't know. I guess you could do that. I don't know. There's always a workaround, right? So, yeah, if y'all don't want to buy $30, just go to the store. Go to Target. Go to Wall. Oh, they might be behind some plastic, though. They might like, yeah, we know what y'all are doing. We locking these behind the safe. You can't get them. Then you say, oh, I want to buy that. And then you get it, right? And then it's like, oh, there it is. And then it's like, wait, that's not, I don't want this anymore. And then you unlock it and you say, no, thank you. And then you're good. And I got to scroll down again because I saw a lady squatting and I'm like, what is this? Why is this on my Luke Stevens feed? Like, yeah, good. Apparently unlocked later in the game. NSO. Yeah, I heard that you have to do like everything in the game in order to unlock the sound, the music. And I'm like, I hope the music is the best music in the world because it's like either you pay $30 or you finish the game basically, and then come back and you can drive in the desert, the empty, boring desert. With music now, so it's better. Nah, B. So I'm glad that people are shouting at Nintendo. The upside is that amiibos are so easy to spoof that nobody actually needs to buy it or any other amiibo to write the see. People are finding there's always a way. Nature finds a way, and the nature is gamers. So yeah, that was that one. There was another one. Oh yes, Sony is making. Why you keep showing up, girl? Damn, girl. Why you keep showing up? There's another one, but I didn't pull it up. It was Sony's making another game, right? Sony's making another game, first party game, not for PlayStation 5. This is 3. This is 3 in a row actually announced. So first it was Horizon. Not for PlayStation 5. And then it was Ratchet and Clank or Raquel and Crack. That's what Sean says. Not for PlayStation 5. And now they're doing an MLB game. I believe it's MLB. Not for PlayStation 5. Now, I get it. There's already MLB on PlayStation 5. And you can go back and say, well, there's already Ratchet and Clank. And then there's already a Horizon. And they're making an actual Horizon multiplayer game for PlayStation 5 specifically. I'm like, why don't you just make one game? And then, I mean, look, okay. So here's the thing. I guess that the Horizon game is going to be more like a gacha game, I guess, or something. Or it's going to be it's a PC slash mobile game, so maybe it's focused more on mobile, so it doesn't feel like a PlayStation game. But the fact that you can play it on an Xbox is like already whoa. And then if they do the Horizon game that's actually for the PlayStation 5 and they do what they need to do, which is put it day and date on PC to make that money, then it's going to be on Xbox as well. So, yeah. I mean, this whole mobile move, this whole mobile initiative, they mentioned it. I believe they did mention that in their fireside chat, whatever that was. But people didn't hear that. They start talking about mobile, and everybody checks out. The ponies, the donkey unicorns don't want to hear nothing about that. All they want to hear is PlayStation 5. It's the best. We getting all the games, which is, of course, not. All that was false. It's not the best. Not getting all the games. It's just a sad state of affairs for PlayStation right now, because this is the third game in a row that they're not getting. They literally need games, and Sony is making games, but not where they need to put them. They ain't got no. They should at least have the option to say, "Yo, this is the PC version. This is not necessarily put it up there." I mean, and I think the what game was it that it was a free-to-play game? I think the Horizon game is going to be a free-to-play game, I believe. I don't know. But whatever. That's just it's crazy. And now like a lot of people, tangent, moving away from that, cuz that's just like a lot of people are not believing Hip Hop Gamer and his his confirmed Steam on PlayStation 6. Look, he's said a lot of things in the past. A lot of his rhetoric has been hyperbolic. I actually wrote some bars that was kind of criticizing his hyperbolism. I don't know if that's how you say that. Hyperbole. That's how you say it. Yeah, so it was criticizing his hyperbole and how he overdoes it. And what I think happens, right? This is what happened to him before, and his boy, I forgot his name before, but now I remember this, Torrance Davis. He was great. He had the best podcast. He was great. I wish that Torrance would continue. Maybe he's out there doing something. I don't know, but I like to listen to Torrance. He's really cool. But anyway, hip hop gets caught up in I guess the enthusiasm that he has for games and gaming, and people I think people are taking advantage of his nature, and his nature is like he's like very enthusiastic. It's just like, I don't want to say like a child to be like disrespectful or anything like that, but you know how children aren't jaded by life. And they're just like, oh, wow, that's cool, and this is cool, and, they see, like, the optimism. They see all the cool things about, breathing and stuff. And he's kind of like that. He's very optimistic. He's very energetic. And I was like, when I look at people like him, I'm like, yeah, I should be more like him. And then I look to the side and like, oh, yeah, that life is about to punch me in the face with an alternator that cost a lot of money because I didn't order it through Amazon. I had to go to the parts store. And the parts store said, yeah, we're going to charge you double. Anyway, that's a bad tangent. I should have told y'all that before. So I think what happened and what has, like, he gets his information from someone who we don't know if his source is credible, but that's a whole nother whatever. We're not going to talk about that because that's something that's unknown. But he takes what people say as, whatever, truth or whatever, right? But I think that people might use him as, kind of take advantage of him because they know whatever they tell him, he's going to say it, right? He can say, yo, like if it's not off the record, I can say it like, yeah, man, you can say it. It's fine. Just, don't tell my name, you know what I'm saying? So I think a lot of it is strategy. So like these PR people or companies or whatever, they'll be like, yo, we should put it out there in the public that this, that, and the third, because right now everybody's looking at Xbox and saying, yo, that's the tight box, I'm gonna get it because it got Steam and all that stuff, blah blah blah, and the PlayStation is silent, and the PlayStation ain't got that, then the Xbox is better, blah, blah, blah. So let's say this so we could throw a little smoke screen and then put some confusion out there and blah, 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 and get it in people's heads. And so they think that's what it is, but in reality, it's not really like that. Or maybe it is, but let's just say it's not, because we don't want to do that because that's not our business plan. But yeah, but then we could fool some people and believing that it's actually that way, but then they won't care anyway because they're going to play some Fortnite. And here's another thing about that whole Steam on PlayStation 6. First, PlayStation doesn't have an OS. They don't have a back end to support Steam. They would have to have Linux with, I keep saying Periscope, but it's not Periscope. It's freaking Proton. They would have to have Linux with Proton, or they would have to have Windows, the enemy. I mean, everybody's their enemy, but, you know, the more adjacent enemy. Do you think that PlayStation would make a PC console just to have Steam on it? Which is, got some achievements popping up. Which is like, why? It's the same argument that what's his name? Colin Moriarty was like, why would Xbox put the competitor store on their platform? Blah blah blah. It's like, well, they don't care because their games are everywhere, so they don't care where you buy it as long as you buy it. That is their games. That's the model. Buy the games. We don't care where you buy it. Buy the games. That's how Call of Duty makes so much money. That's how Fortnite. That's how Minecraft. That's how all the games that are everywhere are on the top of the lists consistently because they're everywhere. That's what Xbox is doing. PlayStation is not everywhere. PlayStation is on PlayStation 5, and PlayStation 4, and PC. That's it, and that's all. That's it. So, either they do a PC launcher and then say, hey, and they build a PlayStation that can do Windows and have the PC launcher, and they can pretend it's a PlayStation. They could put like a PlayStation screen on it, but it's actually a PC, Windows PC running the PlayStation launcher, and then say, hey, you can put Steam on it too. They could do that. But would they do that? I don't think they would. I don't think they would do that. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But it's like I said, the notion that PlayStation is even ready for something like that, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense business wise. It doesn't make any sense based on what they're doing. And what did I just say before? What's the news that's coming out of the PlayStation camp? Mobile games. 3. So what? In that respect, maybe they do want to do that, or maybe they don't want to get left behind. You know, it's hard to tell. But as far as, you know, moving forward, we're seeing what Xbox is doing. We're seeing Nintendo doing what they do. And PlayStation is still behind. They're behind the times when it comes with, you know, the games of service and all that stuff. And it feels like they don't know what they're doing. And it also feels like they can't course correct fast enough because Xbox has such a lead on them. I said this before, I know. But they have such a lead in them on different aspects. They have way more studios. They have way more projects coming. They just announced, I think Xbox just announced that they have 40 games listed, 40 games coming out, I think, for 2026 already, you know, that they have announced. And they said, you know, 75 games. And they showed a new trailer for Replaced. I didn't watch it yet, but I saw like a couple of seconds of it. I was like, yo. And I remember Dirt and Sean were talking about the last night, and I remember that trailer. I was like, "Yo, I want to play that game. It looks so cool with the taxis like floating in cyberpunk." Like, I was like, "Oh snap!" I'm seeing this game, and I'm like, you know what? I think Replaced just replaced the last night. No pun intended, but the pun was intended because I did it anyway. Yeah, I don't care about the last night anymore. Replaced is the replacement. So that's coming out. They announced it March 14th, maybe something. I think it's in March. Yeah, March. I think so. But yeah, springtime. So look, everybody keeps saying, "Yo, this year was great. Next year is gonna be crazy bangers." Yo, all I'm saying is that I said this before too. Sorry. Playground Games is my MVP of Xbox right now. Out of all the studios, Playground Games, because Fable, yes, thank you, I'm buying that game. And also Forza Horizon 6, I'm buying that game because I want those forever, even though that's still a misnomer or whatever. You don't really have it. You just have the license, blah, blah, blah. But still, I think there's something to be said about having. You know what I wished? I wished that the physical copies would include a code for a digital version so that you can be like, I don't feel like putting the disc in my disc drive every time. And especially if you have say if the next Xbox doesn't have a disc drive, which it probably won't, then it's like I want to play my old games, but it's only on disc. How can I play this? Do I have to buy it again? I don't want to buy it. Just give us a code, man. Come on, be friendly. Or I'll just buy the digital version. That's all I'll do. I'll just buy the digital version. Anyway, so yeah, there's plenty of the kind of stories bopping around, a lot of games popping off, and I think that's the main thing, right? We talk about, oh, Sony's doing this and Xbox is doing that, and blah blah blah, Nintendo's there, whatever, blah blah blah. But we're playing games, right? I mean, today I always go and do like a round or two of ball pit because addicted, yes. Then I'll probably try. Okay, so let me say this real quick. Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Been playing it. I only played the campaign. I have not played the multiplayer yet. I don't usually play the multiplayer, but I might play it this year. What is wrong with Activision? I forgot. I think it's Raven and I forgot who else. I mean, they pop all of the studios that work on Call of Duty, but I think the two primary studios are the first ones, and then they have the rest. But why do they have it so that it's online all the time and there's no check? Okay, so I'm gonna spoil some of the first mission. So I was playing the mission. I was like, and then we got hit with the goofy gas, right? And like, the red gas, and then everybody's monsters. Oh my god! And then we get to the part with the floating islands, right? And so I'm like, oh, this must be a checkpoint or something, right? And so I turned it off. I was like, I don't feel like playing this right now. Boom, I turned it off. That was not a checkpoint. So the problem with that game is that you can't just save it anywhere because it's always online, blah, blah, blah. And that's a main problem with a game like that, especially today when people have limited time. This is about time. The whole thing about when Xbox and Satya Nadella, and they said they're competing with TikTok and all this, it's about time. And then, Donkey Unicorns and Ponies, that just flew right over their head. That's not exactly competition. They don't make video games. That's passive. It's not active. That was Porter Rock's whole asinine argument. If I had a million billion hours of if I didn't have a job or anything and I didn't need to sleep, I wouldn't have a problem because I'd be like, okay, I'll just play it. But I'm like, I need to sleep. I want to stop right now, stop the game, save it, and pick it up right here when I get. Can I do that? No. Quick resume doesn't work with this game because it has to be connected to a server. And if you idle too long, it'll kick you off the server. I remember I think I didn't pause it. I think, what did I do? I got to a point where I didn't need to, there wasn't anything happening, so, nobody was attacking me and stuff, so I was just, like, chilling in the corner or something of a map. I think I pressed the X button to get out of it, to go home, and I think I went to YouTube or something like that, or I went to do something, I just, walked away and got a drink, or whatever I did, right? Come back, they kicked me out of the game. And I'm like, huh? And then I go to restart. I was like, okay, let me see. And go to reload it because I figured I'd be right back where I was because I was at a kind of a stopping point, right? I got to the islands, the floating islands in the sky. And no, they started the whole thing over again. And I'm like, what the hell? And I just turned it off. I was like, oh, hell to the no. And then this one time, here's another time that happened when I went back to play it again. So this is what happened, right? They started me over, and I turned it off right away. I think I pushed the home button, and I just left, right? So when I came back the next time to play it, I think it hit quick resume, and it was still in like the first cinematic of the previous time, but it restarted a new cinematic. So it was the previous cinematic that was forward. So it was playing all that audio, and the new cinematic that was like real time was playing. It was like double. I'm like, how is this happening? That is double audio, cinematic, different time. This is so buggy and nuts. And so I played through it. I did it. I killed the Spanish guy with the giant swords falling from the giant machetes. This game is so weird. And I got through that, and I was like, good. Is this a checkpoint? It kicked me back to the lobby. I was like, good. I'm good. Turn it off. Thank you. So, I'm trying to remember what the next stage. I can't even remember what the next level was. But anyway, I'm gonna play through it. It's not the. Oh, that's right. It's the city. It's an open world map. And I was like, is this an open world map? And so I ran the opposite direction of like the objective, and I was just running. There was nobody there. I was just running. I was like, is this like a Warzone map or something that they just, I don't know. But anyway, it's got the robots, and they're shooting the robots, and yeah, it's just, I don't know how I feel about that game. It's okay. It's Call of Duty. You know. I still want to go back and play Infinite Warfare, though, because that's, like, super futuristic. This one's like, meh. And the thing is one thing I wish that it would allow is that I could play as the girl, because there's 3 guys and 1 girl. So you got Peter Petrelli, is that his name? From Heroes. I forgot his name. You got Zandu from Guardians of the Galaxy, and 2 other people. I forgot. I don't know the Spanish dude. Or is he black? I don't know. He might be mixed. And then the black girl with the dreads. I like her. I want to be her. I want to play her. Why can't I play her? And just, if it comes to a cutscene, then you put Peter Petrelli back in. I don't care. But then I'd be the black girl. That'd be nice. I don't see why not. It'd just be a skin. Do that. Maybe there's a way. I haven't even looked into the menus. I'm looking at the menus. I'm like, I don't want to understand any of this. It's like turn on voice, turn on party chat, I was like, nope, turn off. No invite, deep dupe, just me. I'm not playing with nobody, just me. I want solo dolo game. And the funny thing is like I was in the map, and I guess it turned on the lobby chat or something, and I heard like dudes I was like, how's these fools in my game? I didn't have a microphone, so they couldn't hear me. But it was weird. But anyway, little Call of Duty rant. Yeah, I can see why it's not the best. Like, even from like what I played at Black Ops 6, that's better than what I played so far in Black Ops 7. Yeah. It's not horrible. It's just not like, And the thing is, it's like the news is that Black Ops, or Call of Duty, let's just say that, is the best selling game, or it's number 1 and number 2, I think, respectively, PlayStation and Xbox. So it's number 1 on PlayStation, and it's or is it the other way? I don't remember, but they're in it's at least in the top 5 or the top 2. Let's just say that. And so I was like, yeah, and people are like, oh, it's just the worst Call of Duty, blah blah blah, and this and that, and Battlefield's gonna beat it, and blah blah blah, and Arc Raiders has been bad, taking the blah, and I'm like, look, it's not as good as last year's, and that's what all the Donkey Unicorns and Ponies are kind of comparing it to. Oh, it's selling less than last year's. Yeah, but what's it selling? Where is it at on the charts? How many people are playing it? And is it the best? It's the most played? Is the best selling, right? Is that what's happening? Okay, then, shut up. Especially on PlayStation. Like, more people are buying on PlayStation. I mean, not more people are buying on PlayStation, but it's the top 1 seller of the month, or I don't know what it was, but I was like, oh yeah, so it's Call of Duty, yeah. Even a bad one, it's still good. I bet you if Sony had them numbers, they would be cheering and promoting it and bragging like, look at how many we sold, boopity beepity boo, right? But they're not saying that because they ain't making that money, and they spend all their money on that Battlefield marketing. If you know, I noticed that when Battlefield was launching, there's all PlayStation ads. I was like, all right, good luck with that. And it seems that while Battlefield is good, people are falling off because it's what it is, and then that's it. It's like there's no, I guess the updates aren't giving players enough or something. I forgot. Somebody was playing it, and they were like, yeah, I stopped playing. I think it was Rand. He's like, yeah, stop playing it because it's just, once you get to a point and you kind of played it all. I was like, oh, ouch, ouchie, oochie, that's not good. But I don't know. I kind of like how the destruction looked, but, whatever. That's not the game. That's just, it is the game, but it's not. Anyway, I appreciate you hanging out, showing, listening, like, and subscribe. Hit me up in the comments below. Let me know what you think about Nintendo being Nintendo. The evil corporation, I think they're probably the most evil of the corporation because they hide behind the veil of we're kitty friendly and we sell toys. Yay, blue skies. Evil corporation behind those clouds and stuff. And what was it? PlayStation doing some more mobile games and skipping the PlayStation 5 again. How do you feel about that? And Xbox, they're just doing their thug this. So they got 40 games plus they said 75 games this next year, I think, or within the year. I'm so like if like for me, I'm like looking forward to games. It's all Xbox. I'm curious to know what Intergalactic's gonna be. I'm curious to see how that train crashes, basically. But like PlayStation has a few games coming out here and there, and the problem with that is that they all have to be bangers. They all have to be successful. So in order for them to all be successful, they have to put a collar on the budgets. They have to be cheaply made, like Ghost of Yote, so that when they don't sell a lot, when they sell 3 million, it's profitable because that's all they're going to sell anyway, because that's how much their player base buys, because everybody else is playing Fortnite and Call of Duty, the games that they don't make. And so the math on PlayStation side has to change and has changed. And so when they're making Spider-Man the 300 million, they have to chop that up into pieces. They're going to chop it up into 3 pieces, hopefully get 100 million per piece. Hopefully, are they going to sell it for 6? They're probably going to sell each piece for $60. $60. And so that they can recoup that 300. It's a good idea business-wise, but it's kind of like, I don't want to call it desperation, but it's not like, oh, we don't have to do that. No, they have to do that because they have to make that $150, or what would that be? That would be $180 if they do 60 each. So yeah, they're in a bad spot. Sony's in a bad spot. People aren't saying it. People aren't thinking it because they still have this perception that they're the market leader, but in reality, they're not really. They're the market leader of a market that doesn't exist anymore, or that is dying. Their market leadership is, they're the king or queen. They're the rulers of a barren landscape with no vegetation and no wildlife. It's just them in the desert, but they're the king of the desert, just like the desert in Metroid Prime 4, where there's no music. That's PlayStation. Anyway, sorry for the rambles. I appreciate, and I'll see you guys in the next one.